You've been treating the moon like it only has for moods: new, full, waxing, waning. But she's got 8 faces, and each one wants something different from you. A 4-phase model isn't wrong. Exactly. It's just incomplete. It's like knowing someone's name but not their story, their contradictions, the way they shift depending on what time of day you catch them. You're missing the texture. Ancient cultures didn't track for phases because they were lazy or working with less information. They tracked 8 because they actually watched the sky every single night. Not just when it was convenient. Not just when the moon was dramatically full or conveniently dark. They paid attention to the in-between moments, the transitions, the days when she's neither here nor there but unmistakably something. And here's what changes everything about timing. Each of those 8 phases lasts roughly 3 days. 3 days. Which means you're working with a different energy almost every week. Different intentions. Different magic. Different versions of yourself being called forward. If you've been wondering why your new moon rituals feel flat sometimes or why that full moon release didn't land, it's because you're operating with a map that's missing half the territory. You've been working in broad strokes when the moon has been offering you precision this whole time. The new moon isn't when you start. It's when you stop. It's the void, the breath held before the inhale, and your only job is to sit in that dark and let yourself want something without turning it into a to-do list. No vision boards. No affirmations yet. Just you and the ache of something unformed. The culture will tell you to hit the ground running, but the moon says, wait. Feel what's trying to be born before you perform productivity about it. 3 days later, the waxing crescent appears. That sliver of light? That's your cue. Now you plant. Now you take the clarity that came from sitting in the dark and you do the first real thing. Not all the things. The first thing. The seed. Here's the ritual that actually works. Write your intention on a bay leaf. Be specific. Burn it. Let the smoke carry the desire into the unseen. Then take those ashes and mix them into soil with an actual seed. Plant it. Water it. And then, this is the part people skip. You let the moon and the earth do their jobs while you do yours. You don't dig it up to check. You don't panic text your coven asking if it's working. You trust the dark soil, the slow root, the promise of the crescent that what begins small doesn't stay that way. Here's where it gets real. First quarter moon arrives about a week after new, and you're going to feel it, that half-lit, half-dark split right down the middle. This is the crisis point. Not crisis like disaster, crisis like crossroads. You've been building momentum since new moon, and now resistance shows up. The thing is, that resistance isn't a sign you're doing it wrong. Anything worth doing pushes back. The moon is literally showing you both sides at once, so you can see what needs adjusting. This is when you take action on obstacles, not when you give up. You troubleshoot. You pivot. You make the work work. Then comes waxing gibbous, and honestly, this phase doesn't get enough credit. You're so close to full moon now, the light is almost complete, but not quite. And that gap between almost and actually can feel excruciating. Gibbous wants refinement. It's asking you to tweak, edit, polish, make it right before the reveal. You're not starting over, you're finishing strong. Think of it like the final rehearsal before opening night. The foundation is there, the vision is clear, but now you adjust the details that'll make it land. This is the phase that separates good enough from undeniable. The full moon is coming, and when it arrives, you'll want to be ready. The full moon isn't a manifestation party. It never was. That's the thing everyone gets backwards. They treat her like a cosmic vending machine, screaming intentions at the sky like she's supposed to deliver miracles on demand. But the full moon isn't about starting anything new. She's the moment everything you've been building toward comes into light. Full illumination. No shadows left to hide behind. She shows you what's already here. This is the phase for seeing clearly, for charging what you want to keep and releasing what's been dead weight since the new moon. You're not asking for more. You're standing in the brightness and acknowledging what came through. What arrived. What actually grew. And then you're letting go of what didn't make it. Gratitude and release. That's the full moon's real work. So here's what actually works. Moon water. Set it outside under her light. Let her charge it with that electric, witnessing energy. Drink it the next morning. Let her feed you before the descent begins. Use it to cleanse your space, your tools, your body. This is fuel. This is acknowledgement. The full moon doesn't give you new things. She reveals what you already have and asks you what you're willing to carry forward into the dark. Because after this, the waning begins. And you'll need to know what's worth keeping. Here's what nobody tells you about the waning moon. It's not a come down. It's not the sad part where the magic fades. It's when you take everything you learned during that bright, swollen fullness and you make it mean something beyond yourself. The disseminating moon is your chance to teach, to share, to give away the insight you just earned so it becomes useful in the world instead of something you hoard like a dragon. This is generosity as spiritual practice. You're not dimming, you're radiating outward in a different direction. Then comes the last quarter, and if the first quarter was a crisis of action, this one's a crisis of release. It mirrors that earlier breaking point, but now the question isn't what you're willing to do. It's what you're willing to stop doing. What you're finally ready to let go of so the cycle can actually complete. And you're going to feel it, that urge to cling, to keep trying, to force one more push because surely if you just hold on tight enough it'll all click into place. Don't. The moon is waning for a reason. Your grip should wane too. This isn't failure. It's the necessary emptying that makes space for the next new moon, the next seed, the next chance to begin again. You can't plant in soil that's still full of last season's roots. And then there's the one nobody wants to talk about. The balsamic moon, those 3 shadowy days right before she goes new. The crone phase. The composting phase. The one you skip over in planners because it feels like nothing's happening. But here's what they won't tell you. This is where the actual magic lives. Not the showy kind. The deep kind. The kind that happens in soil and dreams and the space between your thoughts when you finally stop pushing. This is surrender as a spell. This is rest as ritual. Your subconscious is doing the heavy lifting here, clearing out what you've been dragging, making room, preparing the ground. Without this phase, the new moon is just another empty promise. You want your intentions to land? You need the dark first. You need the emptying. So your ritual for the balsamic moon is radical, and it's this: do less. Sleep more. Write down your dreams even if they don't make sense yet. Let yourself be what the world calls unproductive. Because the dark isn't empty. It's full of what's becoming. It's the richest soil you've got. Next time you look up and see her hanging there, whatever sliver or curve she's showing, you'll know exactly what she's asking for, and you'll know how to answer. Follow Blackfire Atelier. I'll see you in the shadows.